Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do my review of Ladies Who List Atlanta, Season 1, Episode 4, Grand Opening and Grand Closing.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lies, sweet old auntie. Aunties that wait. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. To all of my nieces and nephews and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of Ladies Who List Atlanta, Season 1, Episode 4, I will rate this episode A, B. I am really liking this show. I am so sorry that I missed episode 3 Triggered. Maybe I'll try to incorporate some of that in to this review, but I'm really liking this show. I'm liking the education factor to this show. Um, it challenges me to think outside of the box, and I'm hoping that it challenges you as well. Please put down in the comment section what you would rate this episode and tell me how much you like it. Is this a show that you would like for me to continue to review? It seems like there may be a season 2. And so at least we're crossing our fingers that it is. So let me put my glasses on because this show makes me take notes, right? And all that. Okay. So we opened up this episode with a conversation with Robin and Q. Now, as we all know, Q had been going around and telling everybody that when she asked Robin to hold 26 listings for her, that Robin was charging her $500 per listing at a cost of $13,000. She was going through changing um, over to, I guess, another brokerage, opened up her own firm. And so she needed her to hold that for 30 days for her. When she called Robin, this is what Robin said. So the two of them, at the meeting last week, decided that or agreed that they would come back together and they would have a conversation. Well, this is the conversation that the two of them decided to have. And so Lady Q goes in to tell Robin about, how she felt some kind of way about when she called her during her time of need. And she said that she was going to charge her $500 per listing. And so Robin was like, what? No, $500 flat. And so Lady Q was like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. I heard what I heard. I know what I heard. But Robin was like, no. She said, I would never do that to you. She said it was $500 flat. And she said, and I was wondering why you, who are, always walking around poised and dripping, okay, will be mad over $500. And so she was like, well, no, that's not what I believe that I heard from you. I thought that you were implying that you were charging me $500 a listing. And she was like, no, if I was going to hold the whole thing for you, and help you out. And I was just going to hold the whole thing for you. And if you thought that I said something different, or if you had a problem about it, you should have come to me and asked me, for clarification on that. And so Robin told her, you know, she said, you goofed that up. You goofed that up. And so Q was like, I know what I heard, especially when it comes down to money. And she was like, I think that she's just playing with my intelligence. And Robin was like, no, I'm not like that. And while I have a fondness for Robin, I didn't believe what Robin said. I don't know what headspace Robin was in at the time. But I just really found that hard to believe, because if it was $500 flat, then where did Lady Q hear the each? Right? Because each is a whole different word. It has a different definition. And I'm like, I don't know. If I believe her. The definition of each is used to refer to every one of two or more or things regarded and identified, right? So, to, for, or by every one of a group. So, if there was a group of contracts and you said 500 each, that is a group, and okay. I don't think that Lady Q, having felt the way that she felt, reacted the way that she reacted, misunderstood the word each. And I like Robin. Hi, Robin. But I don't believe what Robin said. And again, she could have been in a different headspace. Maybe she doesn't remember what she said. And maybe her intention was to say $500. But I think that there's a way of communicating that so that there is no misunderstanding about what it is that you said, Robin. Now, I was on her live the other day, and I thought that she was a cool person, right? And I still think she's a cool person. I don't know, you know. So Q was like, if this is what she said, then I'm gonna let this go, because 500 each and 500 flat would have been a total different conversation. And I totally agree. I totally agree with what Q said. So the next person is Tiana. And she has a client by the name of Michael Hibachi, who is an interior designer. He has a condo that he is trying to sell right now. This is a seller's market. It appears that he purchased a condo years ago for $1.5 million. He is now trying to save that condo. I mean, sell that condo. The condo is just luxurious, honey. Let me tell you something, honey. When you watch these people, you realize how broke your ass is. I don't know if y'all feel the same way I feel about it, but I'm like, bitch, you broke. You ain't got no money. You don't have nothing going for you at the time, honey. You're going to have to step your pussy game up, because these women, okay, are rolling in the money. The commission that they are making alone on these homes. Honey, if you do the math at 3%, we didn't even talk about if you a broker and you ain't got to split the money no damn well. These women are making some serious cheddar. No wonder they arguing and No wonder they arguing and scrapping and doing it kind of little dirty, underhanded. They doing. These are not peanuts. What? Anyway, so she tells him that she can list it for a different price, and he was like, "No, I've already put money into the property and everything," and he wants to sell the property for 2.25 or 2.5 million. And she's like, "You put more in to the condo than what the condo is worth in this particular building in this particular area. Maybe wait a couple of years or so, and you can get that easily." And so, she said that a lot of investors invest into different buildings and locations and stuff without knowing the market. And again, this show is just really teaching us some things that many of us did not know. And I like that. And so she has told him to hold off on it for a minute, for a little bit, let her, I guess work up the comps and come up with another strategy or game plan, if you will. So Crystal, Kira, and Q all went out to lunch. Okay, so now we know that, when they were at the party and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, at the dinner, the meeting, about possibly coming together as one firm and selling properties. In Atlanta, there was an altercation between Crystal and Robin, where Crystal stepped outside the friend zone and became public enemy number one, in my opinion, and was telling Robin that she was triggered. Now, her saying that Robin was triggered would have triggered me. It did trigger me. I'm sure it triggered everybody else, because who wants somebody in their face saying, "You're triggered, you're triggered, trigger." What kind of trigger? At this point, what kind of trigger are you talking about? And so, of course, there was some physical touches that happened during that meeting, and Robin indicated on Instagram that she never touched Crystal. Robin, yes, you did. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what mind space Robin is in, but Robin absolutely put her hands on Crystal. Some stuff you can't say a stunt double did it or anything like that, or you can't. You physically put your hands on her. And as friends, sometimes we don't set boundaries. You know, a lot of women call each other the B word. I use it, quite often. I don't mean it in a bad term or anything, but for some women, that's a trigger word. Don't that's crossing boundaries. It's crossing boundaries. And when I was on Robin's Instagram, she was indicating that she did not touch Crystal. Yes, you did. Whether it was a love pat, a rub, a scratch, or whatever, skin connected with skin. And you definitely have to know what your boundaries are. We can laugh and kiki, we can agree to disagree, and we can actually have a full blown out argument. But once you put your hands on Auntie, now we're at a whole different level of conversation. As a matter of fact, we're not even having a conversation anymore, because your automatic instinct is to defend yourself. No, Crystal did not jump up, and go off on or anything. But you have to know what the boundaries are when it comes down to people, it comes down to friendships, and comes down to disagreements. It was already a heated situation, and so she shouldn't have put her hands on her. So anyway, Kira, Kyra actually said that, when she was having a conversation about the Instagram, that she thought that she was calm, cool, and collective. She's a happy go lucky type person. I don't see that. I did not hear that. When she said it at the table, she said it, in my opinion, with vitriol behind her voice. And she did not in any way seemed calm, cool, and collected. She seemed irritated, disappointed, and angry. That, y'all let me know down in the comment section if y'all saw something different from her. But that's exactly what I saw. So while she would sit at the table and play dumb and act like, she did not come off with a little bit of vitriol in her voice, I don't know what that was about, but anyway. So Crystal, had asked, wait a minute. Q had talked to them about, her conversation with Robin. She had mentioned to them that she met with Robin and that Robin had changed the game and said that, it was 500 period and not 500 each. And so Crystal came out of her trick bag and said, well, I'm not jealous of the fact that Q and Robin talked. Then why bring it up? Why bring it up? Then Crystal turns around and says, did you talk to Tiffany? How did Tiffany feel? So when Q goes on to say how Tiffany felt about it and that Tiffany was triggered, now Crystal was saying she needs to mind her business. But then why did you ask? If you didn't, she felt like, it had nothing to do with Tiffany. It had everything to do with Tiffany because all of this was done out in the public. This wasn't something that, as Tiffany suggested, you pull your friend away, and you had that conversation amongst you all. No, you kept saying she was triggered in front of everybody. And so when you have a group dynamic, you're going to have a group response. Some people may have felt triggered by it, and some people may not have. And when you have a group response, you're going to have a group opinion. Different people in the group are going to have their opinion. And that's one of the things that Kyra said. If people are around, everybody's going to have an opinion. That's Tiffany's opinion. And frankly, I know that if I was there, I would have felt like that because that's not what you do, especially if it's your homegirl. And sometimes it may cause you, when your homegirl get out of pocket or she does something, or y'all have a disagreement. It takes a very mature person, right, to stay neutral or pick a side and then stand on that side. I agree with Robin that Crystal was all over the place. She didn't know where she wanted to be, whose side she wanted to be on. And she just really, in my opinion, is just not a good friend. She has not talked to Robin at all. And Robin has not talked to her. The two of them are, making decisions about the value of the relationship, because if a friendship is valuable to you, if it adds to your life, then you try to salvage it, or at least you try to come to a place where you on neutral grounds and you can still, remain cordial with one another, because at the end of the day they do business together. Now this is a challenge for Robin, because Robin says that, bringing these group of women together, that they do not have to be friends in order to do business together. The challenge is, will Robin continue to do business with Crystal by the same thing that she said out of her mouth? Because if she doesn't have to be Crystal's friend, then she should still be able to close with her. This is what she said. So I'm just totally going off of Robin's definition of business. Business does not require a friendship. And if that is what Robin's motto is, then she should still be able to do close with Crystal. Period. Why let business get in the way? This is about business, right? Robin's very business. This is about business. So Robin is going over to meet with one of her clients at a condo that he is about to sell. Okay. She calls him then she said his name was Thomas. And she gets there and he's not there. His assistant is there. And she tells him that he went to Puerto Rico. And so she calls him on the phone and she asks him, where is he? And he said he's away. And she then confronts him about a listing. Now, Robin was a listing agent for this gentleman. She indicated that the two of them had a meeting and they got in an argument. And as a result of the argument, he gave his listing to someone else. Now, Robin is saying that, he needs to be loyal to her and she wants to get her listing back from him. But he's in Puerto Rico. So she said, I saw the ad on Zillow and she's using my video in order to sell the product. Sell the condo. And he was like, it's a great video or whatever. And she was like, but that's where, the money goes in. That's what sells property is the listing. True. Because if that house looks great on a listing, whether or not it be a 360 video of it or whether or not it be fantastic pictures, those pictures are worth 1,000 walkthroughs. Okay, sometimes you don't even have to go to a property to look and see it, right? But now, of course, you're gonna get an inspector and all of that to go up underneath, the foundation, the hood of the product. But those listings really do mean a lot. If you go to a listing and then that doesn't have pictures, unless you're an investor, you're not going to want to buy that house sight unseen, right? But anyway, so she and he decided when he gets back, she asked him if he could take her to dinner. And so he was like, yeah, when I get back, I'll do that. In the meantime, and in between time, we see Tiana and Tiffany, and they're outside exercising and everything. And she is talking about opening up her law firm. And she has a new building and all that kind of stuff. Like, I really, really, really like them. I think they good girlfriends, and I love the relationship that they're showing between the two of them. But they begin to talk about the law firm and opening it up and everything, and then they go into a dialogue about why they do what they do. And Tiana was talking about growing up her childhood and everything, and was saying that she doesn't do this for the money, she do this for the love of it. And I just think that they're just great girlfriends. During that meeting, Tiffany mentioned that she is not going to be inviting Crystal to her grand opening, and she shouldn't, because if it's something that's celebrating you, the last thing that you want in there is to have to tolerate someone's attitude or presence. You want to be loved, not tolerated. You want to be liked, not tolerated. And for me, there's nothing good that Crystal has ever, in my opinion, said about Tiffany. And as a matter of fact, in the beginning episode, she indicated that they are not competition. Hell, if they not, they are competition with one another. But Tiffany has the maturity to say that she is my competition without being catty about it. It just is what it is. In the next scene, we see Kyra and Tiffany, and they go over to a client's house. Okay, this guy is like the bombastic boo. He has trucks, I believe, and he teaches other people how to get fleets of trucks. And they had sold him a house, and he has now put in $1 million worth of upgrades. Bitch, that house was laid the hell out. When I say laid out, that mofo, that big, huge door that he had on there, he had two doors at first. Honey, he took it. He said it was a door he saw in California, and he had that. Again, these people make me feel poor. Like, where these curtains come from? Where did this come from? What the fuck is that? Like, these people make you feel poor. They make you want to step your game up. I'm like, oh my God, they are living their best lives. They are making. That's why I'm up and burning the midnight oil. These people are living their best life. The way he hooked that place up, and he said that he wants to buy his mama another home. He wants to retire her. He retired her, and I was like, hello, call me. Oh my God. Even when they gave him the housewarming party, and when he went to close, and they had a surprise for him I ain't get that. My real estate agent gonna have to step her game up. I should have had a party like that too. So the next scene that we see is Crystal. Crystal invites Kira over to her firm. She says they do the 5-star treatment. And she invites her over to her office to have a dinner with her because she's thinking about or wanting to get her listings and do her closing for her. And you said, Crystal, you're not in competition with Tiffany. You know damn well that she works with Tiffany. But anyway, the two of them sit and she, asks Kyra about, her boyfriend and everything. And she heard that they split up. And she said, yeah, after 4 years, we split up and everything. And so then Crystal goes on to say, well, I just split up with my boyfriend too. And she was like, it wasn't that we had a big argument or anything like that. We just, I just decided that I didn't want like the way that I was being treated in a relationship. Kira asked her whether or not they had lived together. And she said, yeah. She said, as a matter of fact, we got property and stuff like that we need to sell. So she said, we have property and everything that we need to sell. And so I was like, oh my God, you're in a 4-year committed relationship with the man who she said was a real estate agent as well. You're in a 4-year relationship with this man. Y'all have property that y'all have purchased together, and you're not married to him? Who does that? Just when you think that Crystal got it together, honey, she don't. Anyway, so the two of them, so Kira goes on to say that Kyra goes on to say that in her relationship, she was praying about whether or not she should stay in a relationship with her boyfriend at the time. And she said she was in Miami up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she was just pondering, and praying to God and asking God to give her a sign. She said then later on that day at 8 something in the morning, she finds out that her house burned down. The house that the two of them owned together burned down. And so, that was her sign, of from God that, it really was time for the relationship to break off. I don't think that God got to burn your house down, though. I don't burn mine down to give me a signal. I don't believe your house needs to be burned down. It just means that your ear isn't tuned to, the Bible says that my sheep hear my voice. They know my voice. And I think you just probably need to tune up, your ear to be able to hear when God is speaking to you, whether or not he's speaking to you in your heart or in your belly. You know what I'm saying? You like find another way, but we don't need you to lose another cotton freaking house just for God to tell you that your boyfriend ain't no good for you. But anyway, I digress. I'm just being auntie, right? I'm just being auntie. And so then Crystal goes on and asks her whether or not she's going to list with her, whether or not she's going to allow her to close. She believes that she does enough in sales that she can spread the money around. And I disagree. And I think that Crystal was doing this because she did not like the fact that Tiffany felt triggered by her using triggered. And then, one of the things that Crystal has said was, maybe I need to use Google and find a synonym for triggered. So let me go ahead on and do that for you real quick, Crystal, since you made that suggestion. Let's get some synonyms for the word triggered, shall we? Yes, we shall. So let's see. Triggered. So when she has the word trigger, first of all, she, it's called precipitate, prompt, set off, touch off, stimulate, provoke. Okay, so let's put triggered. Okay, because I'm sure it doesn't take a lot. Okay, so triggered is brought about, bring about, cause, generate, produce, prompt, provoke, spark. She's sparked. She's sparked. She's prompt. She's prompt. She's provoke. She's provoked. She's start. She's start. So first of all, triggered isn't a good word anyway. It's not a good word. When you bring up the synonyms, it's just not the best word to be using to talk about someone's being angry or annoyed. Neither of those words are in the thesaurus or in the synonyms. So really, you're using a word that's inappropriate. So what? It's just being plain old ignorant. And if it's your friend and you know that this is a word that bothers your friend, then instead of being sarcastic about Googling the word, you really should have. Because again, when you value a relationship and you value and respect the other person, you'll find a way to use another word that won't prompt them to go to hell off. You're welcome, Crystal. So Robin, meets with her client. And he comes back into town and she meets with him. And the two of them are discussing the listing. Robin believes that she earned the listing and that the listing is hers. Well, he tells her at the table that and she talks about the marketing video that she used or that was used by the other agent. And he says it was a fantastic video because the place sold. And so she's shocked. She can't believe that he sold the place. And he told her how much he sold it for $2.75 million. That was a $67,000 commission at 3%, I believe, that she missed. He said, "You're going to have to learn how to eat." She said, "Well, I've been eating for a long time." But what he means is eat my whatever that argument was about. He taught her a lesson. He said that she's the best at what she does. She's great. But I think that Robin wants something from people that Robin's not willing to give. Robin is very nonchalant and almost cold when it comes to matters of the heart. And I'm sure that she's using that to protect herself. But when it comes down to matters of the heart, she's not there. Her heart is cut off. It is completely cut off. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. Even when I watched her on her Instagram and she was like, me and women, when she talked about me and women, and she was like, but I got sisters. But just because you have sisters doesn't mean that you can't have a sisterhood with other women. She's like, I love my family and all that kind of stuff. And I totally understand her. But what about the sisterhood? After she had this conversation with him and the two of them began to discuss the deal that went bad for her, he told her that he would give her, hold on, I wrote it down. He said that I would give you 3 of my listings, 3 of my properties, that are valued at 1.5 million each. He said, I will also give you the listing for my home, which is valued between $2 to $3 million. And I will give you the listing for a new property I'm buying. That's out of respect for her work. Now, this is taking something and not making it personal. He taught her a lesson. He didn't give her that listing. She lost that money. That was a 67, almost $70,000, like at 3%. But she is a broker. So she doesn't have that middleman percentage in it. She doesn't have to pay some real estate agent. And she's got the listing. So she's probably doing 6%. I just did it at 3%. Again, these bitches make you feel poor. They make you feel poor. So, in closing, we had Tiffany. Tiffany had the grand opening of her law firm. Designed down to the T. Spot laid out, ambiance on point, color scheme, fantabulous. Bitch, I just was like, I got to fly to Atlanta. On point. Fabulous. She has all her friends, her family there. They're celebrating. She's happy. And I really got teary-eyed because I was like, I'm so fucking happy for her. She's just endearing. She shouts out her husband, Jeff. She tells her friends how much she appreciates them being there for her during the good times and the bad. I'm telling you, your community is everything, y'all. It's everything. Your tribe is everything, especially when they got money. So they're all in it celebrating her and everything. And, she is like, okay, well, y'all, let me go. I'm going to go ahead on the mingle and everything. And, of course, here come Kyra. I got to tell you something. So she tells her about that she met with Crystal. And that Crystal, really wants her to go with her. Give her some of her listings, her closings. And Tiffany said something about it. And she was like, I've been with you from day A. And so she's not sweating it. But she's like, okay, she says she's not competing with me, but she is. And she's angry with her. Like, for what? For what? I want to like Crystal. But Crystal is not likable. She's one of those type of people that you hope she never needs anything from you, but that she just enjoys your company. Because if she needs anything from you, then you're going to be, in my opinion, manipulated, lied to, talked about, and treated poorly. Don't ever need nothing from a person like Crystal. And don't ever need Crystal for anything. When you see a Crystal coming, in my opinion, bitch, walk across the street. Because she has a way of doing it with a smile on her face and making you feel like it's your fucking idea. I'm just saying. But anyway, so Robin and Q go into another. Robin tries to take pictures with the girls, And Kyra's like, no, I don't want to get in the picture. So Robin, continues on, taking the pictures. And then she says, will you get in the picture? After she finished taking the picture, she says, will you get in the picture with them and I'll take them? She said, no, we've taken so many. I don't blame her on that. Because that conversation about the Instagram never was resolved. They both of them start talking about age and slinging mud. So it's obvious that there's not going to be a relationship between the two of them. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay. So Robin and Q go and they have a discussion, and they discuss that Crystal had indicated. Robin asked Q, has she talked to Crystal? And she was like, yeah. And Robin was like, I ain't talked to her. And Q was like, well, she said she ain't talked to you either. And Robin was like, well, I didn't block her. So now you understand what Kyra was saying about the Instagram, about the blog? Okay. So anyway, she says that the only reason she believes that Crystal was her friend was because she met Crystal through Crystal's boyfriend. And Crystal felt like, Robin assumed that Crystal felt like she befriended her to make sure she wasn't sleeping with her man. Robin, a couple of more little comments like this, I just think ain't. Do you have a reputation for sleeping with people's men? Is this what's going on around Atlanta? Down in the condo section? Because why would you think that she would think that? Unless your reputation in that area you believe is preceding you. Because women can have platonic relationships with men all day long. Why would you believe that Crystal is keeping you around? Like, you know how I say keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Why? I don't understand it. So I'm just like, I agree with Q when she said those are red flags. And so Kira decides that, so Robin decides that she's going to, she said Crystal was acting like Kyra was the baby. And she was like talking about the baby. She's still mad with me about the Instagram. And Q was like, she just ain't going to do the fake and phony. Absolutely. 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 The more you let people run their mouth, the more they'll slip up and show their red flags. And I like Robin, but that is a red flag. That's a red flag. And her comment about her not being good with women. Like, what does that mean? Like, it's beyond. Okay, I'm just going to reserve my comments for later. So now she's calling Kyra in. Is it Kira or it's got to be Kyra. It's got to be Kyra. And that's what I'm sticking to. But she brings her in because she wants to talk about the Instagram thing and about her not taking the picture. I'm not saying she's not speaking the truth. I'm saying it's a red flag for you to think that someone thinks that way about you. That's all I'm saying. I would never say that somebody is being a friend with me because they are thinking that I'm going to sleep with their man, because I don't have that reputation, and I know damn well I don't. I ain't never slept with nobody's man before. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's a flag. It's a flag on the play. She may be right. It's still a flag. It's still a flag. And if you got a reputation of not being able to manage platonic friendships with, men, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I got a bunch of male friends. That's all we are, platonic. Ain't nobody sleeping with nobody. Ain't nobody attracted to anybody. Like, we friends. And if they got girlfriends there, I don't make their girlfriends feel insecure about them, because I know what boundaries they are, and I know that I don't feel anything for them. And my response, the way that I talk to them, the way that I interact with them shows that. But if you just a flirtatious person and you got a little reputation for a couple of things, then maybe people will assume certain things about you. It's got to be a reason why. People don't just assume stuff normally. Normal, intelligent people don't just assume stuff. Sometimes it's based on information. I'm just saying. And I like Robin, but I'm just saying. Okay, I'm going to call it. I am going to call it in these reviews. I'm going to be real as real. If you've been here before, you know how I roll. It doesn't make a difference whether I like you or not. I'm going to tell the truth up in Auntie's house, honey. We're going to tell the truth. We're not going to lie and fake it out, try to make it seem like it's something more than what it is. We're not going to do that. But anyway, y'all, this is the end of my review. I thank you all so much for being here. Again, let me know down in the comments section what you think about this show. What did you rate it? And let's just have some dialogue about it. Love you all to pieces. Have a great night, y'all.